All right. What's up, guys? We are here. It's the new balance, the new maps. And we've got Kaiser Gaming's Raynor. It's the EPT EU Cup from this last week, week 158. And Raynor is going into Gresvin up against Mouse Esports HeroMarine. It's the semi-finals. And I've heard there's been some interesting interactions in this series, so I can't wait to see how it unravels. We've got a Reaper opening. No early scout. Looks like he will scout now. This is such a big map, man. Right to left, it feels like it's very far to get across this map. Raynor's creep spread is going to be a very frightful thing to deal with here. I don't know how. I imagine a lot of people are going to be doing just Widow Mines, attacking in multiple areas, lots of Widow Mine drops, lots of harassment, lots of kind of striking where the Zerg isn't ready, and then baiting them into bad Widow Mine shots and that sort of stuff. Of course, a lot of people have been asking, oh, when are these maps out? Cool, when's this balance patch dropping? The answer is soon. With a big old fat trademark next to that, meaning we're not sure exactly when, but I would assume within the next month, both of them will be on the ladder. We do know the World Championship in early February will be played on these balance patch. I believe they said it's played on the balance patch. I know they said it's played on the maps. I don't know if they said it'll be played on the balance patch yet, but definitely going to be played on these maps. Lings are out. 4 Lings going to defend that Reaper. Just needs to pull back the weak ones, make sure the Reaper doesn't get any attacks there. And the third hatchery goes down behind it. Ooh! Forces a Spore Trick. Great micro by HeroMarine. I like the way he bounced that drone away from safety and even gets a Zergling. Almost gets a second one too. Really well done. Oh! He's going to get the creep tumor and survives on 4 hit points. Oh, you nasty HeroMarine. Feeling himself right now. He's feeling very good, feeling fluid. Command center is up in the main base, so that's the third command center build order. Now I know both HeroMarine and Cure have been mixing in a 3 command center into a Hellbat timing. So if we see like a tech lab on the barracks, keep in mind that is an option. It used to be something where 3 command center was almost always passive afterwards with just light harassment. But there's been some evolutions in that game. Way back in the Valencia regionals, HeroMarine knocked Serral out of the entire tournament on 2,000 atmospheres with exactly that build. And there is a tech lab coming down, but it's not an early tech lab, so I think that's just for the starport to swap over. Tech labs build really quickly, so you're going to see that's going to time out pretty much perfectly. Serral behind it is just going for a creep spread. He's getting that creep in the main. Very important. Some of these new maps have some big space in the main, so you want to get that tumor to just get that spread all around there. And the Queen's moving out to that third base as well. Hellion Reaper coming across the map. He is actually building a Viking, but just Marines out of the tech lab barracks. Interesting. Serral hasn't committed to scouting at all. He's only lost the Spore Trick plus the single Zergling. He's got an Overlord out front. Remember, there is a pillar above the natural, but he's opted for the more conservative Overlord. So I'm not sure the Viking will find that. Let's see. Viking comes down, is surprised to see there's no Overlord there. Where does HeroMarine go from here? He's going to go check around the edges, I guess. And that's kind of unfortunate that he doesn't know that that Overlord is right there. He's going to check the back of the base. There's a lot of dead space on this map. And he ends up heading forwards with it. Oh, Concussive does go down. It is that 3 base. No way. Guys, I haven't seen this game. I saw a little bit of the third game of this series live, but I have not seen this game. He's going to go Concussive Shell Marauders afterwards, so it's indeed that build order. Oh, man. I was thinking about this because I saw Cure do this to someone like 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, he's using HeroMarine's build. I didn't realize HeroMarine's brought it out so recently as well. Very cool to see. So it's going to be 3 Marauders in the medevac and about 10 Hellbats, and it usually hits at about, is it 5:30, I think? About 5:30. Oh, Viking's about to get a second Overlord kill. Okay, Serral Zergling. This is his one chance of seeing this, guys. He's not building a Roachwarren or a Baneling Nest. Or, sorry, I said Serral. I meant Raynor. I've called him Serral twice or 3 times now. I just finished casting a Serral series. Apologies for that. I'm stuck in the Serral mindset now. This is Raynor. And Raynor's scouting is not as good as Serral's. I don't think he realizes what's going on here. Oh no, he has no idea. He's going very, very greedy upgrades. He needs to pull back right now. If those queens get tagged by these concussive marauders, they're all done for. Those queens need to pull back right now, but he doesn't do it. Oh no. Okay, those queens, one of them goes down immediately. The marauder up front's gonna fall. Okay, he actually takes out a marauder, which is pretty nice. Raynor needs to mass Zerglings and queens. The problem is no Baneling Nest, no Spine Crawler, no Roachwarren, nothing like that. The queen's trying to defend, trying to hang on, but the medevac doing a lot of healing. That Hellbat's actually getting surrounded by the Lings and dying. Surprisingly, Reynor doing an exceptional job of holding so far, but there is still a core of units that have not been dealt with. The Viking on the backside is about to go down. The medevac needs to get focused at this point. It's got so much healing left in it, but he's not focus firing it. The queens are starting to drop in numbers. The Ling's getting us surrounded. Some of the Hellbats on the right side finally going down. The medevac's out of energy. He finally focuses it, but only after it had already utilized everything it could. How the hell did he hold on with just Queen Zergling? He lost 6 queens and he still got 8. I think that tells us the answer to our question. I said he was playing greedy because he was rushing upgrades and didn't have a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren, but Reynor actually played pretty safe. And the reason why is he built 10 queens, and the moment he realized what was happening, he held the queen button down and built even more. So he must have been building even 11 queens even before he saw the Hellbats come in. And that shows that even though he was greedy on the tech, he made extra queens for safety, he holds on, and he finds himself in... My first instinct was to say it's a big lead. He's got a big upgrade advantage, and his lair's finishing pretty soon, so we can start +2 attack and armor as well. Liberator's just going to take out 3 drones before it goes down, sacrificing the Liberator. It's an okay move, but I do think generally it's better if you can preserve that for later, so I would have preferred to see HeroMarine be a bit more efficient. And look at this, 1-1 upgrades are just so far behind for the Terran. He's going to be going for Widowmine production, which I do like. Widowmines always give you a chance to kind of get back in the game. And Reynor's 4th hatchery does finish up here on the right side as well. So, +2 carapace starts, as does +2 melee. Going up above 80 workers. The creep spread is probably the thing that's scariest. Remember I was saying at the start, how do you deal with Reynor's creep on such a big map? So it's good he's getting out here, even with just a handful of units to slow this down. HeroMarine's going to send a Widowmine drop down the top right. So distract in the bottom left, clear some creep, look for a little bit of value. Ooh, good hits on the Zerglings. Nicely done, gets a bunch of those. Widowmines look for the big boomies. They don't find anything, unfortunately. But he's going to save those, recycle it. Ooh, Widowmine lands on the queens. Hellbat Marine starting to gun down some of them. But the Zerglings, ooh, too many Zerglings. Stim runs out. He's got to get out of there. Whoa, good trade for Reynor. And it looks like, whoa, did he just... Oh no, did he F2 his Widowmine drop back in? No, he did not. He goes for the redrop there. Armory is finished. He's going to have to unburrow, pick those up. Reynor's doing a good job of pulling and reacting, but HeroMarine's doing a good job of wasting his time. And there is a 4th command center finishing, 2nd factory, sensor tower. So HeroMarine, I think he takes this 4th and just pushes forward with his expansions down in the bottom left side of the map is I think where his expansion pattern will be. He's still got this going up. Widowmine drop is almost completely dead, so he's going to have to pull back with that for now. Marine Widowmine coming back in. Where are the Banelings right now? 17 Banelings are almost finished morphing, but oh dude, Reynor caught with his pants down a little bit, going to 90 workers, and this sort of fight can open up a big opportunity for HeroMarine. He tries to stand his ground. He takes some nasty Banelings to the face though. He's going to see if he can get a little bit more, but that is, of course, playing into the hands as the medevac gets shot down. Widowmine comes in, drops those on the angle, realizing he can't take even a single extra hit on that medevac. And of course, the Widowmines ain't going to get too much done. Good micro from Reynor hasn't actually defused that. There we go. Now he defuses it, moves the spore up, we'll take it out. But Reynor took an awful trade at the start of this fight. Even though the Banelings ended up getting the connection, you can see that HeroMarine floating a 4th out is still here on the front. I'd like to see Reynor backstabbing him a little bit more. I think Reynor is giving HeroMarine a bit too much control, but there we go. Cleans up those Widowmines. Unfortunately, there's new ones arriving on the front. Tanks are being built, as well as 2 more barracks. 2-2 upgrades are on the way as well, but 2-2 is now finished for Reynor, so he's definitely ahead in that regard. He's built 10 Hydras with no upgrades. That's something I vehemently disagree with. People will argue with me and say Hydras are good because they can kill Widowmines. Hydras without range or move speed will not kill a Widowmine before it fires on them. And I think 10 Hydras is such a lot of money to put into a unit before the upgrades are even started. So I really think that's dangerous. On the other hand, his creep spread down the flanks, even while getting pushed in the center, has been great. So this is just Reynor's massive skill, is you can have me occupied in the middle and it looks like all my focus is there, but I'm still somehow finding time to go glance at the edges of the map and keep that creep spread. Ooh, watch out for the Widowmines. Okay, no big hits there. Great spreadies. He came around with a flank from behind. Gonna drop and not really find too much. Hydras are there. Watch out, HeroMarine. Oh no, HeroMarine gets caught. Hydras take out one of the medevacs. Ooh, oh, he goes back in with the Widowmine drop on the right side. Can you believe it? It's a new Widowmine drop this time around. 4 Widowmines, 1 mineral line. And he gets 8 drones. It's okay, but nothing too amazing. And it feels like now Reynor, he's the one who's got map control. Infestation pits on the way. He's going to start that tech towards Hive, but right now it's time for him to go boom, boom into HeroMarine. HeroMarine still thinks he's the one in the aggressive stance. Oh no, HeroMarine stumbling into Reynor's army. This is a disaster. Reynor, oh, Reynor's going to just destroy this army. The Widow Mines should get blown up before they can shoot, but no, actually able to shoot those drilling claws is one hell of an upgrade. Widowmine Marauder Siege Tank trying to spread backwards, trying to get these burrow. There's so many banelings. I love the split into the mineral line. He's going to get a few big juicies in the mineral line, but my god, the spread on the south, the scrambling defense from HeroMarine out of this world. How has he not just been crushed here? I do not know. He was in complete disarray when this fight started. Unfortunately for him, there's just too many banelings. They get on top anyway, and he still has to tap out. That was an amazing reaction for the situation he was in from HeroMarine, but it was still a terrible situation. And of course, after losing so much of his army in the previous fight, he was already on the back foot. Should not have been moving out of that time. He should have been swapping into a more defensive stance. But on such a big map, he did not want to get stuck in a half-hour game. Reynor takes map 1. All right, a nice start to that last game, but now down a map. That turned around very quickly, as it does. His opponent, this is HeroMarine, of course, in the bottom right, and his opponent in the top left, Kaizi Gaming's Reynor. Not known for high tech, known for stopping at 2-2 upgrades, making a lot of high drilling bane, and then smashing it into his opponent's face. Does mean if you can withstand attacks like that last one, then you finish the game off, it can be pretty good for you. But it's definitely difficult. Easier said than done. Try and double drones up on this close patch here, but no, Reynor being a little sloppy with his drone doubling. There we go, fixes it up. There, yep, fixed it up nicely. Gas and spawning pool going down here. Notice he's leaving big wide openings. Doesn't want to create any choke points, right? A lot of people build all their buildings back here, and then a double drop gets in behind and your Zerglings can't get at it. It's nice to leave big openings against Terran, and likewise against Protoss, whereas against Zerg, you're more likely to build that spawning pool up here and create a little choke point that you can plug with the queen, that sort of stuff. A lot of people always get confused about that. They're always asking about, like, when do you want wall-offs and choke points, and when do you want big wide open areas? And it's like, well, if you're melee, hand-to-hand, or you have, in general, shorter ranged units than your opponent, you want big wide open spaces. You don't want any obstructions, so you can get into hand-to-hand as quickly as possible. Whereas if you have a long-range army, you want as many obstructions as possible because you can shoot across those obstructions, right? So, you know, if your opponent's got a billion Lings and Banes, you've got Colossus Archon, you want to just sit on this ramp. They're going to have to funnel in and get ravaged. Whereas the Ling Bane wants to fight out here in the open where they can just surround you, right? And that's the general rule. So it kind of depends on what style you're playing a little bit. It's not always like, sometimes people say Protoss love choke points. Not if they're massing Zealots. Mass Zealot plays pretty much like Zerg. You want big wide open areas. All right, Reaper's going to come on in. Ooh, gets a Spore Trick. It's something. He's just going to pull on back from here. There is a nice Reaper ledge on that right side. I love the colors here on this map. This is, of course, Babylon. The previous map we were on was Gresvin. Ooh, Urubu. Urubu, who are you, Urubu? That's what they say. The Reaper's having a chat to him. Urubu, who are you? The Reaper at this point realizing that's literally what they just say on repeat, much like parrots. You know, it's that thing you go to an alien planet and you see a bird that starts speaking to you and you're like, oh my god, their birds can speak. And then you realize, oh no, it literally is just imitating random words it's heard. Okay, good stuff. Third command center does go down behind it. Starport there and the barracks. And Reaper is looking to delay that creep spread. Tumor still goes down on the right side. Nicely done. Yeah, Reynor's doing a very good job of just protecting that. Urubu's still hanging out here. I love it when you get a unit close enough. Oh! Reynor! Okay. That's it. He just cursed himself, guys. For those who don't know, there was a curse in Brood War that has traveled through StarCraft 2. If you kill the critter for no good reason, you bring down a curse, a pox upon your family and your name. That is an evil action done for no reason. And I think now the gods look down on Reynor and they say, no! Curse you, foul creature, hating upon the birdies in this map. You see, HeroMarine's a nice guy. He walks right past. Yes, he kind of bumped it a little bit with the hood of the... It kind of glanced across the hood of the Hellion. But, you know, he doesn't actually turn and shoot it. He's not a psychopath like Reynor. Yeah. Oh, he's going to try and break the rock tower to wall that off, is Reynor. I think the idea is so that he can start then working on breaking it down. I think you want to open up a lot of the rocks. On this map, there's rocks there, rocks here. A lot of these you want to break down as soon as possible as a Zerg, so you can get those wide open spaces we talked about. Speaking of wide open spaces, that is a second factory. Ooh, we're going to see some mech. Oh, wait. You're going to go cloaked Banshee mech? For those who don't know, Hyperflight Rotors, the speed upgrade is both cheaper and faster to upgrade. I think he's going to play full Battlemech. This is a style I've played off 3rd Command Center. This is a Gumiho build. He took the 3rd and 4th gas a little bit later than I used to do with it. But yeah, this is very similar to a Gumiho build. When Gumiho was fresh back from the military, I was playing this for a few months, a very similar style, where you go Banshees, Cyclones, Hellions, and then you add siege tanks as needed if your opponent's on a really big ground army. But it's a very powerful style if the Banshees can shut down like Swarm Hosts and Baneling Runbys and stuff like that. The trick is keeping those Banshees alive, and the trick is also, as with any Battlemech style, mutas are a problem. They're a very real problem. Now, I know they've gone and changed some things with the Cyclone. Oh, man. I need to look up those Cyclone changes right now, because I know they changed the lock-on range. Did they also change the priority or anything like that? If someone could get me a link to the most recent patch notes, I'll just post the Cyclone changes in Twitch chat. Let me know, please. Ooh, Viking does take damage. Hellion Reaper pulling back. This is, of course, on the most latest test version of the patch, which is being tested. So I know those Cyclones also, and we don't have any yet, but I'm sure they will be coming out after Blue Flame Hellions. The Cyclones, yeah, there we go, Cyclones. You have to go Cyclones with this style. They do more damage to non-light units now. So they do from 20 to 30, but instead of doing 40 damage versus armored units, buildings, roaches, they do less. That's with Magfield upgraded. Hell yeah. Whoa! Whoa! Oh no, Blue Flame's not quite done, but it doesn't matter. The Zerglings are way too clumped up. Giant Hellion YOLO. Reynor, get out of there. He needs an Evo block. He needs anything to buy time. Get those drones out of there, Reynor. Oh, man. Dude, Reynor did not expect this. And these Evos, if anything, they're blocking his own units. His drones haven't actually all died yet. Oh, man. This is a very rough situation. He's trying to build more drones right now, realizing the losses are going to be massive no matter what. The Hellions do get out of there, but they already done their damage. 3 of them surviving. Banshees coming in behind Hyperflight Rotors and Magfield. It's Banshees, Hellions, and Cyclones. A very fun style. There's no Overseers out just yet. One of them's morphing Banshee's cloak, though. They're going to be able to move in and start doing some damage. The question is, what do they go for? One of them goes down. An overstep there for HeroMarine. HeroMarine's got a 4th command center on the way. He's going 1-1 upgrade. So fascinating that he'd go upgrades this early. I guess he's just preparing for the swap into tank. Cyclones do not care about attack upgrades. Hellions do a little bit, though, especially for Hellion run-bys. If they get ahead on the carapace upgrades, it can really hurt you in the long run. Now, it looks like the other Banshee... Did it go down? No, it pulled it back. Building more depots, engineering bay. Mutas used to be a big problem, and I think they still are for Cyclone styles, because none of this shoots up except the Cyclone. And the Cyclone will lock on automatically to the unit that's closest to it, which is the Zergling. Ooh, okay. Okay, Hellion Cyclone just kiting, looking for damage wherever they can. Alright, just opening up those balance test changes on my second monitor here, guys, as we cast this game. Banshee's going to go for a nice run by on the very top. I think they changed some stuff with the Cyclone, but I can't quite remember if there was a new one. It does prioritize air units that can attack the Cyclone. So that's why Reynor can't really go mutas against this. Like, it used to be the answer, you'd go mutas. You'd soak up all the lock-ons with the Lings, and then the mutas would just annihilate the Cyclones, but that doesn't work so well anymore. So he's going to try and play against it with ground, which makes the Cyclones way stronger. Banshee's going to cancel in the north. And obviously this was a very good start for Reynor. That's why, for HeroMarine, that's why he's able to do so much damage right now. But if Reynor can stabilize and get on top of this, he'll be good. He needs an Infester to lock these units down or to flank them. But his roach speed is very late, as are his other upgrades. Queen's coming up, trying to defend the Evos, and they do manage to do so. He's got to respread creep as fast as he can, and if he could squeeze a few Infestors out, it'll be a game changer. Fungal to catch those units and stop them retreating is massive. Now, the Banshees in the top side, they're going to have to decloak and get out of there, I would argue. He's going to try and click that hatchery down, but nope, the Overseer is there. Banshee's running out of energy. Cyclone Alien in the south side, clearing up the creep, looking for an opening behind this. Still, nothing but Cyclones, Hellions, and Banshees. 3 more factories on the way. Swarm hosts are being built by Reynor. That, unless he has a Nidus Worm, that's not useful tech in this scenario. I think that's a very bad choice. I think he should be maxing on Ravagerling Bane. It doesn't feel great to do that, but I think he needs enough units to sandwich some of these Hellion Cyclone armies, because look at the way HeroMarine's doing it. He's got 3 squads on the map. He's got the Banshees in the south as well. There's only 1 Spore there. His Banshee's going to find these Queens out, but he doesn't have any energy. He's got to save that cloak energy for later. Big army coming in from the right side. Banelings can do very well against Hellion Cyclone if they can connect, but he's aware of this. The Banshees, this is what I'm talking about. This is where the Banshees come in big, because whenever they try to flank your Cyclone Hellion, the Banshees suddenly destroy them. That's why they need Mutas to deal with the Banshees. But now that Mutas aren't any good versus Cyclones, the Zergs don't want to build them. And this opens up this entire style of Battlemech play again, which for so long was getting countered by Mutalisks. And I love that after game 1, HeroMarine's like, screw this, I'm going back to Battlemech. He's building mass command centers. He's adding tanks and even some Widow Mines in the mix just to get some awesome splash damage there that can have some really dynamic explosions. Banelings are a bit of a problem for this army, but look at that. Remember I said Swarm Hosts. If you can keep Swarm Hosts off your back with Banshees, you're going to be good. Reynor moves his Queens off creep to guard the Swarm Host launch. Reynor, so bloody smart, brings 7 Queens off creep, pushes the Banshees back, and now they're going to try and fight against this, but he's going to take at least a bit of damage. They could focus that command center for sure. And, HeroMarine cancels at the last second, loses a few buildings, including a sensor tower and a building command center, but he's already getting out of control. He's got an expansion in the north, that's moving up. And this is a very fascinating scenario. 8 factories and a starport. The amount of tank Cyclone Hellion being built is insane. Cyclones stuck behind each other a little bit. The tanks, as they siege up, though, are going to make these trades really rough for Reynor. Reynor wants to wear him down with the Swarm Host. HeroMarine wants to just pick away at him with the Cyclone Hellion and never stand and fight. And you can see how frustrating that is to fight against here. One of the Cyclones gets piled down, but dozens of Zerg units are falling in return. A few Banelings do get in the middle of them. Nice play there by Reynor. And you got to make sure you keep up that Hellion count. There's only 2 Hellions on the map right now, and when you don't have Hellions, the Zerglings do good. Now remember, these Magfield Cyclones are doing way more damage versus the Queens, the Ravagers, than they did before. Not only that, but the Hellions will one-shot the Zerglings after a single Cyclone lock-on, whereas it used to take 2 shots. I guess Blue Flame actually changes that, so never mind. With Blue Flame, that doesn't really matter. Banshee's coming on in, starting to focus down Ravagers and Queens, getting out of control. He lost all of his Queens! He's lost all of his Queens, which means the Cyclones can push forward. He has no other anti-air. The Spire is not ready yet. These Banshees cause a very real problem. Holy crudsicles! HeroMarine is out of control! I bet he had a big fat smile on his face playing this game, because that is a disgusting turn for him. He has now got complete map control. The Roachling headbutting into Tank Cyclone will not go well. Banshee's focusing this hatchery down, trying to build Corruptors and Queens. 16 Swarm Hosts are out. But I do think Reynor went into those Swarm Hosts a little bit too early in this game, and that's going to cost him big time. Another one of his hatcheries go down, and he's basically broke. He might have a maxed out army, but HeroMarine has the mining, and that is a huge problem. Big gulp of water and a breath of fresh air there, because this is this is a lot, man. This is a lot of stuff to talk about. Building armor coming in as well. That's going to add +2 building armor. Ooh, Cyclone Hellion. Always happy to skirmish off creep in the open, especially when those Banshees come in. Now, he's going to pull back from the Locust Wave, but using a Locust Wave just to force him back is terrible. Oh, even morphs Hellbats. Hellbats do eradicate Locusts very quickly. And whilst a lot of Hellbats go down for that, they are so quick to replenish. HeroMarine is instantly remaxed. He's on the front line, and this base he knows is so important. Now remember, Magfield does not kill hatcheries as quickly, but it is way more effective against the Ravagers and Queens. Ooh, walks in the biles. HeroMarine, he's got to be careful. He's got to keep it in his pants a little bit here. You don't want to get too excited. Now he's avoiding sieging up most of his tanks. He's getting rid of a lot of the Corruptors. The Banshees can then go back to work now that there's only 2 Corruptors left over here. Spore Crawler will provide detection, but look at that. More and more Ravagers going down. Each Ravager is a juicy target. HeroMarine knows he has the money as well, So he's basically in the mode of any trade is a good trade for me right now. I can get a little scrappy with my fights as long as I keep the fighting going and don't let him take new bases. I'm out mining him and I will be able to take him out. HeroMarine still has to worry about those swarmos, though. If they get a wave into one of his bases, he could be in big trouble. Bile's going to go down in the siege tank. Units lost tab massively in favor of HeroMarine right now. The Hellbats are going to morph. Remember, they've got Blue Flame. He's even upgrading servos right now to allow those transformations between modes to happen quicker in the future. Baneling's going to roll through those Hellbats. Locusts take out a tank. Reynor with a very good counter push. Remember, Cyclones are very good at running and shooting and running and shooting. They don't have a lot of staying power. They are very fragile. They're expensive. They're slow to build. The Corruptors did just take out one more Banshee. He's got to keep up Banshee production. He has 95 workers. The Banshees are absolutely instrumental. Forcing the Zerg to build Corruptors, which are a trash tier unit the longer the game goes, is amazing. So I really want to see him keep up that Banshee production, not forget about that. I think keeping those Banshees alive is the difference between just overwhelming and annihilating the Zerg and then potentially clawing their way back in against pure Cyclone Hellion. I'd also like to see HeroMarine be more active. He needs to split Cyclone Hellion up. Because of the way Cyclones work, even though these have slightly longer lock-on range, the lock-on is changed a bit with its damage, they still get stuck behind each other. When you're doing this run and shoot, anything past about 8 or 10 Cyclones is not useful. He's got 16. And notice that most of them aren't fighting. Most of them are just blocking the other Cyclones from retreating and not doing what they should. So I like the way he's splitting this army up a little bit. He really should send some Cyclones to snipe that hatchery on the top. That should not be allowed to build. These Locusts don't achieve too much. Looks like they might get a Cyclone. Nope. They disappear, and the moment that's on cooldown, 19 seconds till the next wave comes, he's going to dive forward and look for a trade. Infestor is building, but also a Raven. For HeroMarine, he's decided mixing a Raven in might be the way to go. He actually gets that one out, I guess just to help deal with creep a little bit. And here we go, Cyclones and Hellbats trying to march forwards. The scan so that he can maintain the lock-ons. And there we go, all the Corruptors are gone. Every Corruptor's gone. There's nothing that shoots up left for Reynor. The Hellbat Cyclone might just be in too great numbers that it doesn't matter, though. Look at that, 3 Cyclones running that right side. Now, remember, they do 25% less damage to armored, so they would have already killed that by about now. But instead, it takes a few extra seconds. Not going to matter this time around. Lings, of course, going to try and fight the Cyclones. Just going to let themselves die. HeroMarine's focus is elsewhere. And that is the way you do a disappearing trick. People were talking about magic earlier today in my Twitch chat and how fun and exciting it is. Well, HeroMarine's magic trick is got your nose, except it's got your hatchery. Big, ingratiating, kind of paternalistic smile as he grabs Reynor's hatcheries, makes them disappear from the map, and does overwhelm. Very nice build. But HeroMarine got massive damage with the first Blue Flame Hellions, so I don't know if it'll work if Reynor's not so far behind. Alright guys, we're in Game 3. Kaizi Gaming's Reynor. He won first game rather dominantly. But that last game, the Blue Flame Hellions, the Banshees, both causing him massive problems at various times in that game. And I do wonder, if he finds himself in the same situation, does he just go back to Mutas? Or does he go Corruptors again? Corruptors don't die as quick to mag-failed Cyclones, which is significant because they're such a big unit. It now does 30 rather than 40 damage. So instead of taking 6 ticks because of regen, so 6 ticks from the Cyclone, it now takes 7. Oh, I guess that's not that big, is it? It's not that big a change. It's funny because if you're doing 30 or 40 damage a hit, or a tick, I say, because it's each like kind of missile that shoots out of the Cyclone, you end up hitting these points where you do exactly, say, 120 damage, right? Which is the same health a Mutalisk or a Ravager has. The thing is, because they regenerate, you'll leave them on 1 hit point. So it takes that 1 extra hit, which is kind of annoying. And Mutalisk, Ravager, same thing with the Corruptor, 200 hit points. So there'll be one that leaves it on 1 hit point or 2 hit points from regen, and you're like, damn it! So it's kind of interesting. If they were to buff the mag field damage to like 31 damage, it would actually be a massive buff. Instead of 30 damage a hit, 31 damage, it would be huge. In this matchup specifically. Alright, so Reynor has gone for just a pretty standard hatch first. This is Dragon Scales. If you guys remember Triton LE, it's a very similar layout to this map. I really like it. One thing to pay attention to is there's actually rocks here which you can collapse to bring rocks down, covering half of that ramp. And we'll see how that goes. Now, I'm really curious because Battlemech worked, but it worked off surprise. And I don't think you play the same build just like, oh yeah, it's a standard solid build. I think if you want to go into that style, ooh, you might open up just straight Banshee or something. I don't know. I would love to see HeroMarine play mech again. I really, especially, I mean, it's a weekly cup. It's not the highest stakes. Obviously, there's still hundreds of dollars on the line, EPT points, but you're both already qualified for Katowice at this point. I want to see HeroMarine experiment and see how good are these Cyclones really. He's going for the 3rd command center. He's got an orbital coming up there as well. No second gas just yet. Usually it's a starport coming down pretty soon after the factory. And then we'll see 2 Hellions, and then the second gas is the normal timing. Reaper's still just being a bit of a nuisance, but hasn't done any direct damage yet. And there we go. It looks like a gas does go down actually before building both Hellions. Interesting. Oh yeah. No, that actually makes sense. Never mind. That is the normal timing. He still started the Hellions before 3:15, which is, I normally say if you've got both Hellions started before 3 minutes 18, then you've done a pretty good 3 command center build. 3rd hatchery's on the way on that right side. How does Reynor adapt? I really feel like I want to see mutas versus Cyclones. I wonder if the pros have already decided in this state of balance you just can't use mutas to counter Cyclones. Or does he just go mutas this game? Like, no, it's fine. I'll show you how to do it. It's all about how you engage. Remember just to reiterate, because the action was pretty big, you guys might have missed it, the Mutalisk will automatically lock on, the Cyclone will automatically lock onto Mutalisks. Things like Corruptors, it won't prioritize over ground units because the Corruptor can't attack it, but Mutalisks, it will automatically prioritize. Oh, this looks like the Marauder Hellbat build, but he's going to lift the barracks off in vision of the Overlord. HeroMarine's like, I'd rather just be efficient. And who knows, maybe you mind game yourself. Oh, he goes Hyperflight Rotors, but then decides against it, cancels, and does just make Cloaked Banshee. Okay. So Viking into Cloaked Banshee is not a bad way of playing. Building lots of drones is Mr. Reynor and straight Roachhorn. Yeah, I think he's just assuming this is probably a mech build again. That's what got me last game. Let's just play this for safety. The Ling derping out there doesn't get the vision. Oh, I think he even pulled an SCV to hit it maybe, but the Marine does finish it off in the mineral line. Vikings coming in from the edge of this map. I love it. It's kind of beautiful here. There's big spikes and stuff sticking all out. But the Viking has not found much. Just one Overlord so far. Double Evo Chamber is on the way behind this. Wait, he just cancelled his Roachhorn. Why did he cancel his Roachhorn, guys? Reynor just cancelled his Roachhorn and goes double Evo. But this is mech. There's a second factory on the way. Seeing the Banshee? Is that it? No, because he didn't see a Banshee. Oh, man. Okay, Reynor second guessing himself a little bit. You always want a Roachhorn versus any mech style. For some reason, he seems to think this is bio. Yep, he's going melee carapace. Unless he wants to play Mutalisks, but that lair is way too late for Mutas. That's a 5:30 lair. I mean, there's no Blue Flame Hellions, so it's not going to be the disaster of a start that last game was. But it's definitely one where I would feel more comfortable for him if he had the ability to just build a handful of Roaches. That's a lot of Hellions, and Queens and Lings can deflect it, but he's going to have to be very careful. Ling runs in. Instant gases on the 3rd. Let's go to Reynor's camera. He should know what that means. He should know that means mech. Expect a Roachhorn to go down any moment now if he's paying attention. He's not. He's adjusting his rally points on his workers. He's spreading creep. I mean, he's doing a good job with his basic mechanics, but he doesn't seem to have really processed the fact that he just saw 2 gases on the 3rd at 6 minutes, which is incredibly early to be taking those. There we go. I think we just saw a Roachhorn. Yep, okay. Reynor has dropped a Roachhorn. He seems to be aware of what's happening. He's building a second Spore in the main, but the Banshees are going to come in. Notice the Hellions distract on the right. Queens get pulled out there, and the Banshees find an opening. Good drone pull, though. Very quick response for Reynor. He's going to have to split a few Queens and an Overseer back here. Another drone gets picked off. Banshee's just going to fly out potentially in a moment as the Overseer is on the way. Hellions coming down that right side. Another scan will go down. Blue Flames on the way. Cyclones as well as 2 more factories all coming in. Double armories on the way as well. I think Blue Flame is definitely the most important upgrade, more so than Magfield, because those Zerglings such a common problem. 1-1 upgrades, Baneling Speed on the way. Double armory. Fourth command center goes down. Okay, we're seeing a big boy build. This is not a I need to kill you build from HeroMarine. This is a let's play a big macro game build. He could fight those queens if he wants to. Oh, Lings do not want to engage. There's no banelings, no roaches. No banelings, no roaches, which means these drones don't have anywhere to run. Not the best focus fire from HeroMarine, but 11 drones. I mean, I'll allow it. He maybe could have killed more there with slightly better micro. The queen was taking aggro and taking the majority of those shots. Remember, with Blue Flame, these guys do 19 damage versus the drones, only 8 damage versus the queens, with armor even less, of course. And he's going to be pulling back. 1-1 upgrades are on the way. Hellion still trying to dance around. They could potentially beat these queens. Does get a few nice volleys off. The Reaper is still in the mix, throwing grenades as well. 5 Banshees. Wait. He went 2 starport? He's gone 2 starports? I didn't even realize. He's gone 2 starport Banshees, up to 5 Banshees. The Spire and the Infestation Pit both go down. Fungal could help catch those Banshees. Vipers would be good versus them. Hydras could kind of fight them, but not the best against them until you've got a lot of them with upgrades. Queens, of course, can do okay, but they don't have the mobility. This is so many Hellions. 18 Hellions roaming this map right now. Blue Flame is done. Magfield is almost complete as well, guys. Deals 600 damage over 14 seconds, that new Magfield, against every single type of unit it attacks. 5th Command Center on the low ground as well. HeroMarine is going to consume the map, and he is going to just be everywhere at once. He is going to out-Zerg the Zerg player. He's going to have Banshees, Hellions, Cyclones diving in on all fronts, and mass expand behind it. HeroMarine does not want to play efficiently. He wants to play a swarmy style. So far, he's been very, very efficient, only losing 1 Hellion for 35 Zerg units. But Reynor has a big economy up, and he can't let that go. And that's why the Banshees have now shown themselves. Coming on in, starting to find some of this drone rally. He can just click the Spore Crawler. When you have 7 Banshees, that Spore disappears. He's going to take out the Queen and the Spore. Does go down without losing a single one. A lot of drones starting to fall here. No mobile anti-air. Hive is on the way. I think Reynor just wants to use Vipers to deal with this. He's got a decent spore count, but the Banshees can, of course, still dance around that a little bit. Mass Hellion Cyclone on the left side. He seems to be keeping the Cyclones off creep. Are they slower than Hellions? 5.95, 4.72. Yes, they are. I don't know why I never realized that Cyclones are so much slower than Hellions. Hellbat's going to morph in the middle line, take a few Banelings to the face. He wants to bait these units off creep. Hellbat's morphing here. There's Banshees and Cyclones, so you can't really chase into that. And that's a 5th planetary. There's a 6th base going down, and so many more command centers behind it. Reynor is pinned on the defense. He's got a lot of tech, though, and a lot of money. He's got a good income. So even though HeroMarine has a ton of expansions, can he actually finish him off? One of the big lamentations of Terran players out there everywhere is you can get ahead with mech, you can't finish the game with mech. That's what they always say, myself included. We're always complaining about this. The Banshee's coming on in, gets a queen, but you gotta watch out for Corrosive Bile, definitely. Oh, whoa. As I say that, walks into a couple of them. Banshee's gonna run forward, see what they can do. The Corruptors are here though. Ravagers, Lings, and Banes. Reynor trying to hang on. Bile's trying to hold back this army. The Ravagers and Banes on the left side, clearing it out. The Cyclones pushing on forwards. There's not many Hellions and Hellbats left, but he's got some very effective lock-ons. Queens are starting to fall as well. Let's keep an eye on that unit sloth tab. It's very in favor of HeroMarine, and remember, he's on 5 bases. You can't be letting him take these trades. Where is the Fungal? Where is the Vipers? I don't understand why Reynor's playing Ravager, Bane, Corruptor. Corruptors seem like, honestly, the worst response to Banshees that I could possibly think of. Abducts, pull them into the Queens. Parasitic Bombs, smash them. Fungals, absolutely hold them in place. Let the Queens kill them. Let the Biles kill them, whatever else. I think any of those is better than Corruptors. Now, Broodlords can do okay against these units. Of course, they can outrange the Cyclones and everything pretty far, but I'm worried that he's not using his Hive Tech correctly, because Infestors also counter the Cyclone. Hellion on the ground. Oh, he's going to try and get some of these units. The lock-on's causing big problems. Banshees in the top do get interrupted. Oh, very nice interceptions by the Corruptors there. The Cyclone's trying to pull back from these Lings. Hellion's trying to help out as best they can. Oh god, run those units away. Has to lift the command center to get some room. The Banshee's coming up to cover him. Those Banshees are going to save the day, I think. Lock-ons on the Cyclones. Onto those Corruptors. If you can take out the Corruptors, those are very expensive units. Remember, part of the problem with adding Battlecruisers or Banshees in for the Zerg player is they need to keep building Corruptors. Corruptors are trash units. They serve a singular purpose. And every time they accidentally get caught by the Cyclones, they get blasted out of the skies. Now, funnily enough, HeroMarine's actually swapped off Banshee production. He's only building tanks, 2-2 upgrades, smart servos. and just mass tank hell. That seems to be his play here. He says, hey, I've got you pinned back on Ravager Bane, Roach Baneling. Let's just do it that way. Mass lock-ons. And nice. I like how he leaves one spotting Cyclone a bit further forward, but the Roaches and the Banelings will catch that tank pretty easily. Reynor's coming forward. There's a planetary though, and the Cyclones have already got a few lock-ons. Chasing into the planetary is a very brave call. Reynor is a very brave boy, though. He does not sit back and play safe. Oh, 16 SCVs! And the planetary gets blown up, and that was the win he needed. Banshees are on the counter side. They managed to get 5 drones, but he needs more than that. He cannot lose another base. HeroMarine, he's going to lose a command center up front. This is a huge problem for him. The command center does live barely in time. Bile's trying to go down, but they're not landing. A lot of those Biles missing. A few do land on the siege tanks, but Reynor has to get out of there. Takes 2 tanks out, pulls on back. Looks like the other Banshees did go down. Every Banshee is gone. And this is the situation. We got to say, imagine if there was a Banshee over here right now, wailing on these units. You need to keep that complexity in your army. HeroMarine, I think, is much newer to this style than someone like Gumiho, and Gumiho does such a good job of always having Banshees catching armies like that and punishing them for moving off creep. That's part of your map control. Kind of like battle cruisers, it's not about doing big direct damage, it's about punishing your opponent when they get out of position. But Reynor comes in, unzips his fly and says, hey mate, have you ever tried the Italian Mountain Dew? HeroMarine says, shut up, idiot. And does unfortunately lose a planetary fortress to the Corruptor stream. Orbitals going down is big. A lot of more SCVs going down. Uh-oh! 2 command centers in the deep red. They're burning down. One of them will fall. The other one looks like it might just barely get out of there. Reynor's all over him. Reynor is ransacking HeroMarine's bases. Luckily, HeroMarine built about 50 extra command centers, so he's still got 4 orbitals and a planetary. But this is not the situation that he thought he would be in. A few minutes ago, he was ahead. He was playing very well. He's still on 6 bases though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases, building a planetary up front. If he can just stabilize, he might be okay. Broodlords are the next tech choice as the Greatest Buyer starts up. A few Ravagers get picked off. Nice moves. Tanks, Hellions, a Raven on the right side. More tanks on the left. A Widowmine. No 3-3 upgrades here for HeroMarine. Meanwhile, 2-1-1 for Reynor, who's building 10 more drones, trying to keep up at 100. He's got Vipers. Abducts, not bad versus Cyclones. They're really not bad, guys. You can just grab a few Cyclones, free damage. I think he wants the siege tanks, though, and he's only got enough energy for 1 abduct. Ooh, I don't know about attacking in here, Reynor. Oh, okay, he's going to abduct the Cyclones. Kind of forced to there, otherwise they would have got locked on and killed. Overseer does fall, though. Anti-armor missile, very scary to fight into that. Even though these units are slower attacking units, the Hellions getting +3, or actually it's +2, isn't it? Yeah, it is just +2. Ooh, Biles, watch out! Baneling morph in the corner. Not a good move from Reynor. He gets caught out there. HeroMarine is re-maxed. He's still got 93 workers. That crazy command center count allowing him to bounce back from that earlier damage. He's going to dive in here. Reynor caught a little low on units. That Baneling morph getting caught out, presenting an opportunity that should not have been there. But HeroMarine, the moment you make a misstep versus this Chad gamer, he has huge mass, and he is able to capitalize on it by just leaning that weight onto you. Reynor now attacking down this avenue, but these tanks on the right, something he didn't account for. The Blinding Cloud lands on them, but it was a little late, and the Banelings have washed up. There's way too many Cyclones and Hellions there. Remember, these Corruptors are doing nothing, guys. He's had all these Corruptors in the air for so long. This is what I was talking about with having dead weight in the air. I still think he should have swapped back to Banshees, but not doing it ended up being a very smart choice because Reynor was so afraid of the Banshees that he's kept these Corruptors up. He's now turning them into Broodlords, but will they be out in time? He's already lost some bases. He's trying to re-expand to the right side. Hellions will be running in, though, and causing massive damage. Biles landing across the army on the front. The tanks are Cyclones. The Hellions trying to hold. On the right side, 2 Hellions getting in are going to cause an absolute barbecue. Reynor with a quick response, though, does save those units, but he needs more Banelings. He needs more units on the front line. The Broodlords, can they save the hatchery? Yes, they can. At the last second of the 11th hour, the Broodlords come marching. They said, look to the northwest on the 3rd day as the sun rises. And apparently Gandalf and a pack of Broodlords just rode out of nowhere to save Reynor's bacon, because if they weren't there and he lost yet another hatchery, he'd be in trouble. Despite that, he still lost 18 drones. He's lost a lot of creep control. He still needs to find some counter damage. He's going to take out this planetary fortress almost certainly, but I think HeroMarine can buy a lot of time if he repairs it. Unfortunately for him, he does not have building armor, guys, and that means it's going to go down a little bit quicker. On the other hand, Reynor's forgotten his upgrades, and he's forgotten it for about 5 minutes now. He has not made +3 melee, +2 range, or +2 carapace. Reynor is famous for forgetting upgrades in tech because he's too busy having fun fighting his opponent, but this is a huge mistake. Oh no! The Cyclones are going to catch his base in the top right, and he's losing his Broodlords to the Vikings in the left. An absolute disaster. Where are the Vipers and Queens? They need to get to that left side. He loses the base in the top right. At least he'll catch the Cyclones and get a decent fight there, but even there, losing some Ravagers on the way out. These Cyclones making a very good account for themselves. Broodlords do end up surviving. The Queens get over there. 5 Broodlords are able to win out and survive here. HeroMarine's bases have to be getting low. He lost that one. This base is fresh. Okay, he's got a new base going up on the right side. If he hangs on to that, he'll be okay. Reynor's income situation is looking very bad now. He's trying to re-expand to the top right and the bottom left at the same time. Hellion Cyclones, a bunch of Vikings out here. The Vikings are going to try and hold back the Broodlords. Those Vipers need to get in here and do Parasitic Bomb. I don't know where they are. They're coming in from the north. Hellions roast around the drones and pull back. Vikings coming forward. Where are the Queens? The Queens need to get over here right now. He's going to drop some Parasitic Bombs, but of course the Vikings, not the most expensive unit. He's happy to trade them out a little bit. HeroMarine's got a new base. He's also got an orbital landed on the left side. That's wide open a harassment, but this planetary covered by the tanks. That far right side covered by this army. Broodlords can take out some of these tanks, but a few Thors coming in as well. That's a problem for Reynor. Those Vipers need to get in there with some Blinding Clouds and the like. Vikings smashing those units. The Hellbats do get overwhelmed by the Ravagers. The Ravagers doing pretty good, but the air war has been won by HeroMarine. Vipers, Broodlords getting shot out of the sky. Can he stall out on the ground, though? Reynor's actually overwhelming on the ground, but he's only on 68 drones right now. Oh, the Cyclones in a small, scrappy situation. The Cyclones are very good if HeroMarine gives them the micro that they deserve. And indeed he does. Accidentally walks into a pile on the left, but he's punishing on the right side as well. Getting some good lock-ons. He may need to back off now. May HeroMarine, that tank on the left, still getting some good shots off. These Cyclones on the right going to do some stuff. But is it enough? I don't really know. It feels like the supply is so low for Reynor. Every Ravager that went down, irreplaceable. He needs to get those drones out to new bases right now. He's oversaturated, but he's so busy fighting, he doesn't have time to transfer workers. And remember, the Ravagers die quicker to the Cyclones than they did before. It is a pretty big difference. Not to mention the Banelings get put down to 5 hit points after a single tick, rather than 15 hit points like they used to, and that does make a big difference. It means the Banelings die much quicker to follow up Hellion attacks to those Cyclones than they otherwise would. It means the Ravagers are dying quicker, the Queens are. Ooh, oh, that's deadly. May not have got the hatchery, but takes out a bunch of drones against a player whose economy is already so light. Reynor looking for some desperate attacks here. The Lings unable to take out a single +3 armor siege tank, and I think at this point Reynor might realize that he's forgotten those upgrades. 2-1-1 versus 3-3. Reynor forgetting upgrades in a very tense matchup, playing against Mech, something he hasn't done for a long time. The hatchery does survive, but HeroMarine's baiting him off creep into layers of tanks, Cyclones, and all sorts of Terran debauchery. The Zerg just getting lured into a dark, dark place where they are getting paddled right now. Reynor going off creep. The Cyclones can kite all day. The layers upon layers of tanks. And even without adding any more Banshees, just swapping into full ground, that was a beautiful display of Cyclone, Hellion, Mech. We saw some really cool Battlemech, adding tanks when needed, Vikings and Thors when needed for the Broodlords. And I love to see this style. Is this actually solid now? Should Reynor still just play Mutas and the attack prioritization doesn't matter? I have no idea. I want to hear your thoughts in the chat. Should he have just played Mutas? Or should he have rushed Spellcasters earlier? Does Infestors change everything in this game? I think if he played this style with Infestors, we'd be looking at a different game, because imagine the number of times he could have fungled the Hellion Cyclone or the Banshees in place and killed them. I don't think it would be easy and solve everything, but I really tend towards Infestors, and my curiosity makes me want to see what happens if you still play the big Mutalisk switch that everyone used to do. Does the new Cyclone change actually mean the Cyclones win out, or is that just something we're assuming? Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.